So today, several of the feistier members of Congress, that would include Sandy Cortez and Ilhan Omar, both famous on Instagram, decide to block traffic in front of the Supreme Court because girl power means blocking traffic. And that's when police officers did something they've never done before. Those mean cops put both Sandy Cortez and Ilhan Omar in invisible handcuffs and led them away with their hands behind their back. You're seeing those images on the screen right now. Now, several media outlets picked up these images as proof that Sandy Cortez and Ilhan Omar are deeply oppressed. For Sandy Cortez, the trauma was real. Totally, it was her lived experience. She was wearing a coat in 90-degree heat. It's just the latest harrowing tale of Sandy Cortez's tenure in Congress, her life since Boston University. You may recall that nearly a year and a half ago, she almost died.
Congresswoman Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez has given a harrowing account of her experience on January 6th.
A harrowing and emotional account of what happened to her during the Capitol riot.
It's one of the most harrowing accounts so far.
Congresswoman Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, tell that harrowing story.
The harrowing story of how she hid from attackers during the Capitol riot.
Boom, boom, boom.
Disclosing new harrowing details.
Imagine being Casey Hunt looking right into the camera. Harrowing! It's very harrowing!
What is good? Osiris here, stuck in the middle. Yesterday was crazy. AOC and others pretended to be in handcuffs when they were escorted away from the Supreme Court during a protest. So I'm watching it, I'm like, what is happening? Why would they do this? Apparently they were all escorted, all these protesters. I put that in quotations. They were escorted to a VIP section where they then posed for photos with cops while another cop holds the camera. More crisis actors at work. There's nothing about them that's real. There's nothing authentic about this. This is literally what they did on the front page. AOC and them arrested, hands behind the back, and reality is there's no cuffs. They were all corralled in this section here, and police officers were taking pictures. Odd way to be arrested. Never seen that before. I also found out looking around on Twitter, Jeremy Slevin, who is a staffer for Ilhan Omar, tweeted before they got arrested, members of Congress, including Ilhan Omar, will be participating in a civil disobedience at the Supreme Court, potentially including arrests shortly. Does that sound like it was a real protest to you? Potentially including arrests, like that was supposed to be some good thing. It was all a sham. It was a fake. It was a phony. AOC responded to the fake handcuffs video in an Instagram stories post yesterday. She said, putting your hands behind your back is a best practice when under arrest, whether you are handcuffed or not, said AOC, who was filmed fist-pumping supporters while being detained by police. This is the same person that supported the Summer of Love riots over George Floyd, a criminal who resisted arrest and was high as a kite. And she's going to talk to us about best practices when being under arrest. I had a back and forth with Mistress Scarlett, and no beef at all, but we just have different viewpoints on this. Mistress Scarlett said anyone at any time has the right to peacefully protest. That was a straw man argument because what I said was it was a fake protest. I said they are legislators, not activists. I didn't say they didn't have the right to protest. I said protesting is not their job. Anyone can protest. Not anyone can legislate. If they want to be activists, that's fine. Resign, don't run for office again, and go be an activist. On top of not doing their job, they celebrated a fake staged, pre-planned event with fake handcuffs and police taking pictures. If you aren't risking anything, it's not a protest. Ms. Scarlett replied and said, I guess you are going to have to explain to me how they're not doing their job. They are protesting a ruling by SCOTUS. Nothing they can do but protest. Risk anything? What should they be risking? Have you seen Steve Bannon? Steve Bannon is in a trial right now for contempt of Congress from a committee that should have no subpoena power. And he is going to do prison time, I think, or jail time. I don't know where they go. It's a federal crime. He's going to probably be locked up. He's not getting off on this in D.C. Risk anything? I don't know. How about that? Like real hard time. I said a protest has to come with risk. You risk your freedom. You risk your life. You risk your job. Not everything is worth risking those things, but there has to be some type of risk. And obviously they weren't risking anything. She agrees with that because she said, what should they be risking? Obviously she agrees they didn't risk anything. If you're not risking anything, it's not a protest. It's a political ad or a parade. This is a protester. Tamara Litch was is well off, had nothing to gain with the Freedom Convoy in Canada. She was one of the big people behind it, running it, organizing, collecting money for it. She had nothing to gain from that, at least financially, and everything to lose. Bail revoked, remains in custody, hemmed up. Then Miss Scarlett said that's your opinion, which you are more than entitled to, but here is the actual meaning. Protest, a statement or action expressing disapproval of or objection to something. Okay, well, let's work off of that definition. The definition of word means nothing without context and reality. By that definition of protest, let me see what that really means. So by that definition, if I go out in the middle of the woods and I yell, I'm pro-choice, that would be a protest. It fits the textbook definition, but in reality it has no meaning, no impact. I'm not calling that a protest. Maybe by that definition it is, but I'm not calling that a protest. In this age of informational warfare, one of the most important things I look for is authenticity. What is somebody willing to risk in exchange for what they believe? That doesn't mean I'm going to believe what they believe in just because they risked a lot, but it does show me that they do believe in it. These clowns, with their fake protest, risked nothing. It was planned, pre-coordinated. They risked nothing in exchange for the belief that the federal government should have more power. That's all this is about. If they really were concerned about their cause, they would go to states where women could not unlive their fetuses and say, you have to change your state legislator, or you have to move, or you have to fight politically at the state level. No, what they're doing is we're fighting for codifying it at the federal level, or packing the Supreme Courts, which would affect much more than the cause that they're protesting against. It's about federal power. So they're not risking anything. The protest is fake, and their motives behind it is to get more power for the federal government. Is somebody really challenging me on this statement? Maybe it's you. Let me know what you think. Take care.
Congresswoman Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez has given a harrowing account of her experience on January 6th.
A harrowing and emotional account of what happened to her during the Capitol riot.
It's one of the most harrowing accounts so far.
Congresswoman Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, tell that harrowing story.
The harrowing story of how she hid from attackers during the Capitol riot.
Boom, boom, boom.
Disclosing new harrowing details.
Being Casey Hunt looking right into the camera. Harrowing! It's very harrowing!
It's one of the most harrowing accounts so far.
Boom, boom.
Imagine being Casey Hunt looking right into the camera. Harrowing! It's very harrowing!